Okay, 1501, good luck. Not played before, no head-to-head score. 13,000 games of Rapid, that is an awful lot. I've played just over 100, I think it is. 113, so that's quite a difference. How do I want to do this? I'm just going to develop. Okay, knight up. I'll go d5, just keep it fairly simple, just up, develop castle, maybe get the bishop out. Okay, I'll maybe get the bishop out first, then this, we can maybe trade, we can drop back. Okay, goes there. I'll try dropping back, see if takes and opens the file. Just put my little heater back on there. It's not that cold right now, but I'll have it on for a few minutes. Yeah. Try and just stick to basics. Idea, just get the bishop into play, get castled, get c5 into play. My opponent can't actually play this pawn forward right now because of the knight. So c5, and we might get a central pawn majority. Check, obviously I can block multiple ways. Okay, the bishop been traded. That was obviously the purpose of this move. Takes. So I'm going to take back my pawn. I'm probably still going to castle kingside, but let's just see how the game pans out. Launches one. So I think just bishop here makes sense. Do I go here? No, I think I just come here. Challenge the diagonal when the bishop comes up. It's just a case of where do I want my knight. I want the knight up and rook across, I think. Knight goes here, can always drop here. This knight can come here. And obviously queen up is a direct threat to the knight, but it's very easy to defend. And keep the cursor off the board so there's no accidental mouse slips. Whoa, f4, that's a really bold move. That is really bold. I mean, it's begging for a move like knight forward. Takes, and I've not got anything right now, but the idea is just to open a path for the queen. Knight here threatens to jump in. g4 allows a queen check. Knight across here. Queen check. The knight or the queen can then drop back. It's a little bit committal though. I could drop the knight this way, but I don't think I want to. Just got to watch out for bishop here, and there's a danger on the diagonal, but knight here, I guess you just simply do this, but then I've still got the queen check. I'm going to play it because there's a chance for my opponent to be going wrong a little bit. Queen here is a threat, queen here with a check is a threat. And I can always just spend a move coming back if I need to. It's a very, very bold move, that. Queen here to hit the knight and there's potential sacks. Queen's come forward, obviously that's a potentially good move. I've still got queen here. I've got knight here with a view to coming across. Or I can just drop this knight back. I wonder if I can actually push here. I don't quite like that. I'm leaning towards actually just bringing the knight back here now, so that's a good move. Queen here. Knight here. Which is best? I'm looking at knight up actually, but no. I'm going to go knight here just so if queen comes across there's a tempo on the knight. I can play either knight here. I've got queen f6 as well, bishop up or bishop up to guard the knight. I'll just clear those marks. Oh, the knight's actually developed. Okay. So I think just queen up here makes sense. Actually, is the knight up almost trapping the queen? Knight up, and the queen has 2 squares. Queen here is a move potentially as well. Here or here. I'm not quite trapping the queen. Knight here though, and then this one is stuck. I'm just going to develop here. Knight down is a move. Might be a good move actually. I might have made a mistake. I just dropped back and trade the bishop. It might be a mistake by me, so it goes there. Let's just play this to stop this. I should have done that originally, but my knight here can still bail back and attack the queen. But once my opponent's castled, it actually looks like a reasonable position now. Knight here could be good. Jump the knight around. I'm probably going kingside as well. Queen across, what's the purpose of that? I'm still looking at this move, but I don't think it works. Bishop down is a move, and where does your queen go? Here? You almost are getting trapped. Let's go here. You go back, knight here, you come down, knight here. So the queen's gone back, so is bishop up a move? Not quite. If I do this to hit the knight, there is this counter punch, but it feels good to me. So I'm going to do it anyway. 2 attack it, 1 defend it. If the knight moves, I take the rook. Obviously, unless you do this, then I deal with the attack on the queen. If knight in, I think I just collect. Knight across, I think I can just collect and weaken this pawn. Feels like I should. Might be a mistake, but I'm going to do it. Now I'm looking at this idea. I think that makes sense to me. Go forward, hit the bishop. My king's still pretty safe. I can castle either side. But when white castle, I think the white king is looking pretty safe as well. So I'll probably just castle king side as well. But knight c4 is a nice nuisance move, attacking that bishop. Well, I guess the bishop could just drop back. But yeah, if I get the knight to c4, I can always do something like this at some point. So let's just see. Oh my goodness, gone that side. That must be a mistake. We knight up to hit the pawn. I'm going to go here potentially to get rid of the bishop, but I'm hitting a pawn as well. Knight goes back, so I can chop the bishop and grab a pawn here. So I think I'm going to do that. It's whether I want to take the pawn or just castle. Or activate the rook first. It might be a poison pawn because then you get a lot of pressure coming. So I might actually leave the pawn, just develop the rook. Do I want to do that? I can take the pawn for sure with a queen. Takes, rook across. The knight can then drop back and I can just castle. And a pawn is still a pawn. I'm going to grab the pawn. I don't think my opponent will trade queens, but I've pre-moved in case it does. Then I'm going to have to castle next move though. But obviously unless you trade and then rook attacks the knight. Again, keep the cursor off the board so there's no accidental slips. Right, so we've traded. So I expect the rook to attack the knight and I'll just drop the knight back. I could maybe consider g5 and then come to g6. But I think I prefer the knight going this way to come in the middle. So I'm just going to go here to come around the angles, try and get castled. Depends what my opponent does. Here it goes there. So we'll just get castle and bring the knight back. Activate this rook. We're still only one pawn up. A pawn is a pawn, but it's still only one. Okay, basically the only move. Pre-move in case sacks, but I don't think will. Otherwise, I'm just going to activate the rook and try and hopefully double the rooks up on the c file, get forward. If I go here, I guess the knight can challenge that, and has done. So we'll come here, challenge that knight. So we'll challenge the pawn and look to double up. Now we'll challenge the knight. If the knight moves, we take the pawn with check. So here, if the knight takes, we take and we hit both rooks. Yeah, I think that's a blunder. I think it is. If you take, I take back and I hit both rooks. There's also a pawn. So maybe it wasn't a blunder. That's a really good move actually, isn't it? But I don't have to take still now. Take, 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 king takes. I could do this though. Go forward and try and really plant that knight. Obviously if the knight moves I can take the pawn with check. That must be getting warm now that he just turned itself off. So you probably got to go here, but then I'm going here I think. But then the rook, maybe it can get away with wandering off. Let's keep the cursor off the board and see what my opponent does. It's still only one pawn in it right now. But we are up on the clock and obviously we need to use our time, so we'll try and slow down a bit. Unless it's forcing moves. It feels like I should be fine just to trade everything on c3 though, and then play g5 for instance, and I've just got the outside pawn coming. So I should be fine just to trade everything. We'll have to think about it, depends what my opponent plays here. Pawn forward. I could do this just to stop the pawn push initially, I guess. I think that makes sense. And then bring the king up, there's no rush. If the knight moves, I can still take the pawn with check. I think I'm fine to just trade everything. Okay, so I've still got the option to trade. Here, here, check. But I can't collect without my rook being loose anywhere. It's so we can trade everything off. The king's here. And the king's currently within the box there. So I'm just going to bring my king up, I think. I don't want the knight to be able to move with a check on my king. But here again, I can still take and fork the two rooks. I'll have to take with this one now, but my rook does guard. Yeah, it might have been better going here actually, so I wasn't in the line of this rook. I've just got to be a little bit careful. If I trade everything here, okay, if we trade the whole lot off, I can do this, but then the white king might get in as well, but I think I'm alright. I think it's alright, but have I got a move like knight here now? Don't think it does much. I think I'm going to go here. Idea is to maybe take and grab a pawn. Again, you can take the knight now, but I think obviously I'm safe either way to take back, and my rooks guard each other. Yeah, that's what he's gone for. So we'll just take. Goes back. Now can I just try and start pushing? This might come, I guess. I just want to be a little bit careful. So I'm going to plant the rook with this pawn. So this rook is free to wander off. Here, rook across, takes with check, king takes, looks fine. Goes c3. Play up. I'm going to bring the rook back across this way, I think. I've also got the option to still push here. Rook across. Okay, we're going to come back now with a view to coming across and starting to advance forward. Not easy position for white to play, clearly, but done pretty well. I can ignore that, I think, for at least one move. So do I push here and allow this? Yeah, if you push, I just counter push. If you take, obviously I'll pre-move to take back. Whoa, takes. So now can't I just take here? I've got to be a little bit careful because of how advanced this is, but take. You can push. Yeah, let's not make it complicated, just take back. See, it might have been better to take there, but I don't want to burn all the clock. We've got nice pawns getting ready to march down the board. Still not a formality yet, though, not a formality. So I think rook across here looks strong. Just hit the pawn. The king's got options. There's no immediate rook check. Now I think we start marching. Or do we? I can actually push here, can't I? Yeah, just push the pawn. You can't take because of the pin. You could counter. Now I'm going to start marching. And if the rook leaves the file, I can then maybe come back. It's a little bit of a gamble because of this pawn. Has gone there. I think I just march the pawn forward here. So if I do this, you go here, I go here. That's probably just winning on the spot, but no need to take any risks. King across. Here, takes, king up, we hit both rooks. So I think that's just winning. Either pawn you take, the king up, we're attacking both rooks, aren't we? But there's no need to take silly risks. Let's just grab the pawn. Okay, goes across. So now we'll just march forward. Oh, that's a rook. Okay, hits the pawn. I'm just going to push there. Okay, we get the win, but well done.